So we're going to switch gears here a little bit, a little less sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And we're going to talk about decisions. And sometimes you make decisions in life about like who you want to be as a person, you know? Like conformity is like, is this who I want to be or is that who I want to be? People are telling you like, you should be like this. You should be like this. Well, this is a story about making decisions in that realm. So halfway through my freshman year in high school, the universe decided to give me a superpower. Me, of all people. I remember when it happened, 5th period, history class, Mr. McDonald. I was looking around the classroom thinking, it's like, God, it's like ever since we started high school, it's like everyone seems to care so much more about what everyone else thinks about them, myself included. I mean, it was getting rough. Kids were developing disorders over it, anxiety, depression, anorexia. And I wondered, well, like, what am I going to be afflicted with? And then I wondered, well, like, what if you just didn't care anymore? What would that be like? And the universe said, I'll tell you what that'd be like. Bam, there's your superpower. I had this feeling come over me, and it was a little overwhelming. To be honest, it was it was really overwhelming. So I went home after school that day and I shaved off all my perfectly comb gelled hair. And then I looked down at my shoes. I was wearing these stupid, silly dress shoes, you know. I was like, well, what are shoes meant for? It's like they're meant to be comfortable. So I went down to an old man orthopedic shoe store and I bought myself a pair. Now, of course, when you stop caring about what everyone else thinks about you in high school, that comes with some repercussions. I got shoved into some lockers, I got called some names, but that's the beauty of that superpower. You just keep holding up your middle finger. And eventually, even the bullies throw in the towel after a while. They're like, I don't know, that kid, a lot of effort, no results. So a couple months of wearing old man orthopedic shoes to school every day, I walk into school one day and there's all these posters, these flyers all over the hallways of the high school, and they're advertising this contest, Mr. Centennial. I went to Centennial High School in Portland, Oregon. In this contest, it's like a Miss America pageant for the guys of the school. There's a talent portion of the competition and a question and answer portion. You were to showcase your athletic and academic achievements, and the winner would be crowned Mr. Centennial. And I'm looking at that poster and I'm thinking, oh yeah, oh fuck yeah. So I went down to the student activities office and I signed up. Now, most of my competitors that year, they were juniors and seniors. I was the only freshman to sign up that year. But I thought that gave me a strategic advantage. So I went home after school that day and I started to put together the talent portion of my routine. Now, as a freshman, I was the same height as I am now, but I weighed like 120 pounds. My mother used to actually make me drink half and half at dinner because she said I looked like I'd been raised in a concentration camp. So I had that going for me and I was thinking, well, how am I going to showcase this hot body? And then this idea comes to me. I'm like, oh yeah, that's perfect. So I go to my sister's room and I borrow a pair of her soccer shorts. She's 5 years younger than me, and I pull those things on, and they are tight, and they are short. You know, I'm like, oh, these are perfect. And then I'm thinking, well, I'm going to need some music to go along with my routine. And at the time, I was getting into punk rock, things like that, but I was like, that's not going to work. I need something a little more classic. And then I thought, ooh, Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet. I was like, now that's perfect. So I went and found the album and put it on and started to practice my routine. So a couple weeks later, it's the night of the competition, and I'm backstage. Now, Centennial High School, it's a good-sized school, like 1,200, 1,400 kids. It's a big auditorium. And I'm backstage, I'm pacing, I'm nervous, and I go over to the sound guy and I hand him my tape. I was like, just hit play when when I walk out on stage. He's like, all right. And I'm nervous. And then the competition begins. The announcer comes out, he calls the first contestant. And on the first part of the competition is the talent portion of the competition. So the first competitor comes out, and the thing is, these kids are taking it serious. They're actually taking it serious. And a few more competitors get called out. Then the stagehand comes and taps me on the shoulder. He's like, "You're up next." It's like, all right. So I take off all my clothes, everything except my sister's little soccer shorts. And then I reach into my backpack and I grab the 2 bottles of baby oil that I brought with me. And I just empty both bottles of baby oil all over myself. So the shit's just dripping off. And then the announcer calls my name. And I look at the sound guy, he hits play, and Bon Jovi starts singing about how Tommy used to work on the docks, but he's down on his luck. Union's been on strike. So tough. And I walk out onto that stage and I start doing a Mr. Universe Muscle Man routine. I do the chest pose. I do the back pose. I do my quads. I do my calves. And I look out in the crowd, and people are just grimacing. I mean, grimacing. They are uncomfortable. My mother actually caught me practicing this routine in my bedroom. She came in, she's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Mr. Universe Muscle Man routine for Mr. Centennial." She's like, "Oh, more like Mr. Auschwitz." Her words, not mine. So I'm out there on the stage giving them a Mr. Auschwitz all, and people are just grimacing. But when Bon Jovi, when they hit that chorus, started singing about how you got to hold on to what you got, some of the crowd started cheering. They started getting into it. So I started getting more into it. Then more of the crowd started getting into it. We start feeding off each other. Pretty soon, baby oil's flying everywhere. I'm flexing my ass cheeks. I am just going for it. And at the end of the song ends, and the crowd cheers, and I take a bow, and I look down at the judges. All the judges' faces are the same. They are just pissed. I give them a little wink and walk off stage. Fucking nailed that one. Fucking nailed it. So the next part of the competition is the question and answer portion. And so I'm backstage, and I didn't put I didn't put clothes back on. I thought it'd be great to just come out, baby oil and little, soccer shorts. But one of the teachers backstage was like, no, you have clothes on now. So I put clothes back on. And same thing, these kids are actually taking it serious when they're answering their questions. So I hear my name announced, and I walk out to the microphone, and one of the judges asks me, like, "What is something that you really want to accomplish in life? What is one of your big goals?" I'm standing there, I'm just trying to think of the stupidest shit I can think of. I'm like, well, I want to be made into hot dogs after I die and be fed to zoo animals. Because entering the food chain as a hot dog, that would be a great human achievement. And the crowd, they cheered. Oh, and I just take another bow, and I look down at the judges. Judges' faces are the same as before. They're just pissed. I walk off stage. I was pumped. Nobody was getting a reaction like me. No one. I was going to be the first freshman to win Mr. Centennial. So at the end of the competition, we're all brought back out onto the stage. We're lined up, shoulder to shoulder. And I'm standing there like, yeah, that's right. First freshman to win this shit. But sadly, when they announced the winner, they did not announce my name. I did not win Mr. Centennial that year. Heartbreaker. But I do have to say, that was the last year that they ever held that contest. So in a way, I kind of did win.